Remember when your parents used to say, "Never help strangers"? Today, you're going to understand why they were right about that advice. What's up, crew? And today's a special video. This time, we're doing a recap of One Piece Film Z. And go ahead and hit that like button to support the channel, alright? So, there's this stylish old guy carrying his metal arm. Since we're in the middle of a massive war between pirates and the Navy. And man, the chaos is unreal. Guns, bombs, and swords flying everywhere. But the old man uses a woodpecker's pipe and somehow pulls off the courage to head into battle. He's walking toward the fight like a gun is hurting his hip. His name's Z, and he says he's gonna wipe out all the pirates. But then he starts attacking the Navy. Hold up, old man, are you sure you're not hitting the wrong people? Anyway, he's wrecking everyone. His swordswoman companion is slicing through everybody. And she's super stylish, let me tell you. Then there's this plant user who keeps calling out to some lady. But she never shows up. And even after getting hit by a cannonball, the guy's riding tree branches and beating up everyone. Meanwhile, Z keeps smashing the Marines. Even a giant tries to stop him. But the guy's more prepared than Batman, and blows up the giants more than once, causing major chaos in this war. The brawl keeps going as they slowly manage to take over the Navy island, until they come face to face with a metal wall. But like I said, Z is really well prepared. He enters a lab where there seems to be DG eggs. But now things are about to get wild, because Kizaru shows up and immediately blows up a ship, just to announce his arrival. And he doesn't waste any time, locking blows with Z. Z tries to land a hit on Kizaru head-on, but Kizaru dodges and counters with a massive lightning kick. The plant guy's like, "Run, everybody!" Kizaru greets Z, calling him Master, after they've already been trying to kill each other. And Z replies that if it weren't for Kizaru's devil fruit, he would have been done for in this fight. Kizaru says he's going to take him down, and calls him Master Zephyr. But Z responds that he's a new man now, and his name is just Z. Then they exchange a bunch of cinematic blows, my friends. Z taunts Kizaru, saying he's gone soft since becoming an admiral. And Kizaru hits him with a malicious lightning finger beam. But Z not only blocks it, he charges forward, delivering a point-blank explosion right at Kizaru. It was so intense that Kizaru was left gasping for air, needing to use his asthma inhaler. But just as he put it away, Kizaru comes right back, pounding him again, saying he won't let him take the DG eggs. But Z says these DG eggs have destructive powers, on the level of ancient weapons. And then he gets the brilliant idea to test one of the DG eggs on Kizaru, causing a massive explosion on the island. The blast was so huge that the entire island was blown to smithereens. The old guy wasn't playing around, huh? The damage he caused was massive. But Kizaru managed to escape at the last second. And Akiji also saw the destruction from afar. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats are just chilling, having a good time and enjoying some food. Brook is rocking a slick cosplay of Supla, while strumming his cowprint guitar. Zoro's in the corner sipping on some booze. And Chopper's just got his little milk bottle, since he's too young to drink alcohol. Meanwhile, Frankie seems to have let loose a bit. But then Chopper smells something awful, and gets the feeling it might be poison. Everyone gets worried, thinking Chopper is feeling sick. And this only helps Brook compose a new song. Zoro notices his booze tastes a bit off, while Robin is casually watering the flowers. And the one who's nearly killing everyone with that poison is none other than God Usopp. Luffy tells him to knock it off, or he'll smack him with a chair. But Usopp explains that the poison only kills pests, and that he bought it from a trusted source, so there's no mistake. Zoro feels more at ease and sits back down, continuing to drink his poisoned booze. Chopper is still suspicious of his milk, so Luffy tries it to see if it's really that bad. Well, my friends, if even Luffy didn't like it, it's gotta be terrible. And Frankie seems to be a bit loopy from the poison. I got loopy too, but for different reasons. Nami tells them to stop messing around so much, while Sanji brings her some orange juice. She winks at him and says she'd love a dessert. And, of course, Sanji says he'll make 2. He's got 2 big reasons to do so. But he's out of luck because now he's gotta make dessert for everyone. He gets really mad because they all act like it's his job, and no one even says please. Luffy takes a bite of meat, but it tastes bad, and he thinks it's Usopp's fault again. Then something starts falling on them, and even though it looks like snow, they realize it's not. What's actually falling on them is ash. While Nami checks the log pose, they notice there's been a huge explosion nearby. Chopper's fur is covered in ash. But Robin says it's fine, she'll just take a bath later to wash it off. Brook is sad because he wanted to take a bath with Robin too. But Sanji says, stick with me, and you'll get there. Frankie notices that Nami seems off, and she says that the compasses are all messed up. It's looking like Captain Jack Sparrow's compass, which means some island has probably been blown to bits. Sanji brings her some tea. Nami and Usopp decide that Luffy can't know about this or he'll want to go check out the island that got obliterated to see if there's anyone strong there to fight. But it's too late, they said this right when Luffy saw the compass spinning, which means they're about to get into trouble just because Nami already tells Usopp it's too late now. He's going to go no matter what. So Nami starts guiding Frankie toward the destroyed island, and off they go, heading toward the next big mess. Luffy then spots something drifting in the water, and they realize it's a man. Luffy tries to pull him onto the ship, but as soon as he touches the guy's arm, he goes all limp and needs Sanji and Usopp to help him out. Chopper checks on the stowaway and says he'll be fine. Nami already has a bad feeling that this guy is serious trouble. Robin notices that his arm is made of sea stone, and everyone thinks his weapon looks cool. But Sanji reminds them that this means he's someone who's ready to take down anyone with a devil fruit power, so they need to stay on their guard. For when he wakes up, Zoro suggests they should just throw him into the sea right away. That way, nobody would have any problems. Ah, the voice of reason. But Luffy says it's all good, telling them to take care of him. If he tries to fight us, he'll get a beating. The man starts waking up, and you can see Luffy hoping he's an enemy. And apparently, he's not the only one. The man thanks Chopper for taking good care of him, saying it's the best treatment he's ever had. Of course, Chopper loves the compliment. Z looks at our stretchy pirate and says it's obvious that Luffy is the boss around here. Luffy says he can stick around with them, at least until their next stop. Z agrees, saying he left a Vivre card with his crew, and they'll arrive soon. Meanwhile, Luffy asks about Z's weapon, and Z explains that his arm was ripped off by a pirate who made him get the prosthetic. Luffy asks if the old man was in the Marines, but Z says no, he quit, and now he's got other plans in mind. Luffy wants to know what he's up to, but Z feels like he's being interrogated. So Luffy says, my bad. I just wanted to check if you were a Marine or not. Z then asks, and what does it matter whether I'm with the Marines or not? And Luffy casually says, it's because we're pirates, man. The moment he says that, he gets thrown to the ground. Luffy says that one hurt more than getting hit with a chair. Z then asks why Luffy is a filthy pirate, and Luffy quickly responds, I'm gonna be the king of the pirates. As soon as Luffy finishes speaking, Z attacks him, and the fight between Z versus Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji begins. While they're brawling, the rest of the crew decides to put the old man back to sleep, but they're caught off guard because Z's crewmates arrive on the Sunny. The blue-haired woman introduces herself as Ain, Vice Admiral of the Neo Marines, and she declares that they'll be captured by the new Marines. Frankie says, no way that's happening. But Plant Guy traps Frankie with his plants. Z keeps trying to beat everyone up. Robin tries to capture Plant Guy, but he's too fast. The plant user manages to trap Brook, Usopp, and Chopper. Nami tries to attack Ain, but Ain lands a precise strike on her. Chopper attempts to take her down, but he gets hit by the same attack. She hits Brook as well, and Robin is left wondering what she did to them. But then Ein manages to hit Robin too, and she explains that she ate the Modo Modo no Mi, which allows her to rewind time for anything she touches. And now she's used it on all those she attacked. They all become 12 years younger. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if she touched me too. Ein warns Robin that if she touches them again, they'll disappear from existence. Z delivers a massive blow to Luffy, causing a huge explosion. It seems like everyone is in trouble now. Z says that Luffy will only become the king of the pirates if he can handle his power at 100%. He starts crushing Luffy like he's just an ant. Z asks for his name, and Luffy responds, "I'm Monkey D. Luffy." Z quickly realizes he's Garp's grandson, and orders the destruction of the Sunny right away. Z then declares, "I'm the leader of the Neo Marines. My name is Z, and I will annihilate every pirate." They start blasting the Sunny, while Luffy yells that he'll get his revenge and beat him again. But it's tough because they keep getting hammered by the barrage of cannon fire from the ships. Luffy decides that for now, they need to retreat, and he releases Frankie so they can escape. Frankie uses the coup de burst, and they blast away from there. And just like that, they manage to flee, while Z watches them from a distance. Meanwhile, the Marines decided to hold a meeting. Akainu is already burning yet another table. They're discussing Z and his plan, that if he manages to get the 3 endpoints, he's going to send all of the New World to the bottom of the sea with the fishmen. And since the man used to be part of the Marines, they know exactly how strong he is, and that Z won't stop until he's destroyed everything. Because without a salary raise, he decided to quit the Marines and wreck everything. Just look how well-behaved he was when he was earning an intern's salary. Akainu firmly states that he doesn't care. If Z was once an ally and was really good, now he's on the enemy side, so they'll have to beat him down and lock him up. End of story. Kobe can't believe how serious the situation is, but Garp just tells him to shut up and look at the massive mess in front of them. That Z might actually achieve his goal, which would drag all the New World pirates down to the depths in one fell swoop. The problem is, the innocent will also get caught in it. And to think Z used to be a man of honor, but the day his VR didn't update, he started losing his mind. Back to the Straw Hats. Frankie is busy repairing the Sunny, but Luffy doesn't want to wait. He's eager to go after Z. Mini Nami is busy counting her money, and Mini Chopper is feeling sad because he feels guilty for taking care of Z. What a cute little guy, that Chopper. Then they start reflecting on the earlier fight. Sanji found the plant guy's powers really annoying, and Zoro already said next time he's going to take everyone down. It's a matter of honor, especially for what they did to the Sunny. Usopp even suggests they stay there until the Sunny is back to normal. But Nami quickly retorts that she wants her body back to normal. And I bet you want that too, right, crew member? She explains that being a kid makes it hard to navigate properly. Usopp sees that they misunderstood what he said. Robin says she also needs to return to how she was. Usopp replies that for her, she must be much happier, now that she's back to being 18 and has 0 cellulite. That was the worst thing he could have said. Sanji even gets upset that he's joking about it, but then he starts thinking that having Nami as a kid would be good to see her develop little by little. Take it easy with the fantasy there, Sanji, or you might just get cancelled. And he's already annoyed with Zoro for calling him a pervert, saying that if Zoro was a kid, he would slap him with flip-flops. Meanwhile, Zoro says that even as a kid, he would fry his eyebrows and serve them up for him to eat. Brook is mega sad because he's now 12 years younger, but everyone is confused since he looks the same. An old man arrives, and Frankie thinks he's going to charge them for anchoring there. But the old man says he knows Z and that he's causing trouble. So there are always ships anchoring there, and they're always pirates. Finally, a pirate with a parrot appeared. He tells them that many pirates are losing their dreams because of Z, who is sinking many ships of various pirates that reach the New World. So he also states that since they're going to face Z again, if they want a 38, just ask. But Nami asserts that the most important thing now is to gather information about Z, and also change their clothes, because carnival-style dresses will only make them easy targets. So they gather information to head to a hot spring that's on the neighboring island to take a bath, since they stink more than a hospital bathroom. Next station, Bras disembark on the left side of the train, after leaving alike, and then they decide to relax at the hot springs. But Luffy and Brook are just a mess from the weakness of the Akuma no Mi. Luffy doesn't want to stay there too long. He wants to go hit Z already. But Sanji tells him to hold on because they'll be going soon. And look at how they went to gather information. Robin is a dancing queen and Nami is a waitress. Before anyone comes to complain in the comments, Nami is an apprentice, and Usopp has become their manager. But poor Chopper ended up being the bootblack for those guys. While Brook is recovering his bone strength, Luffy still can't manage to rest. Sanji warns that fighting Z will be tough. If Z touches Luffy with that hand, Luffy is in trouble, and it would be better to leave Z to him and Zoro. But Luffy already says no way, he's going for revenge, period. And Akiji appears, surprising everyone. They all get on high alert while Brook is left confused. Then they explain that this is Admiral Akiji. While they're chilling, Z continues his plan, surrounding a volcano with the Digivolves. And apparently, we won't have cake, but we'll have a party, huh? And Akiji tells them to lower their guard. He's just there to relax like they are. He says he left the Marines, but now doesn't know what he is anymore, and asks them what he should be. If even Akiji doesn't know, imagine them. But he says, "Don't worry, I'm not here to fight." And he's in bad shape. Akainu sent a hit out on him. Robin is having a blast, and she's not the only one. However, their mission to gather information isn't going so well. But check out how much cash Usopp made. Of course, it was going to get confiscated. Luffy asks Akiji what happened to his leg. Akiji gets a bit annoyed, almost tells him to ask Ace for the answer. But Luffy, all delicate, asks why Akiji fought Akainu. He doesn't answer that, but says he's on vacation, just taking time for himself. Then he asks how it was to fight Z, since he knows how strong Z is. Little Nami goes crazy on the Marines to gather some info, and they even loosen up a bit for Nami. But another Marine pushes them aside, and it seems he's figured out that Nami isn't just a little girl. But Robin helps her just in time, and they get out of there before things get worse. Akiji wonders if the One Piece is the people we've met along the way. He says Z's plan is tied to ending the One Piece, thus making pirates cease to exist as well. He tells Luffy he wishes him good luck, since Z is like the Rambo of the Marines. And here come the others bringing problems as usual. They gather with the rest, but the entire Marine force came along. But Luffy walks in all swagger, activating his Conqueror's Haki, taking everyone down. One Marine is still conscious, and Luffy immediately asks him where Z is. He replies that he's busy dealing with the Marines. And indeed, things are getting intense. One of them even manages to trade blows with Z, but it's for a brief moment. The man is unstoppable. Then a massive explosion occurs, causing the volcano to erupt. With that, the second endpoint has become history. And once the third is destroyed, it's goodbye pirates. And Luffy arrives, welcoming Z, forcing him to turn his crewmates back to normal. It's time for the second round, my friends. With the battles, Sanji versus the Plant Girl, Ain versus our beloved soloist Zoro. And Usopp was even about to shoot Z, but Luffy decides he's going to fight him instead. So here we go with the Luffy versus Z rematch. Quality brawling, yes. Usopp, indignant, asks why you still aren't subscribed to the channel. The volcano starts erupting all over the island, and people begin to flee in desperation. Although not everyone has been lucky, that's not the case for this bunch, as Akiji managed to save them. Luffy activates his gear second. Z fires a barrage of bullets at Luffy, who skillfully dodges and advances, landing a big punch on Z. But Z manages to hold Luffy's blow, and sends more bullets flying at Luffy, who once again dodges, this time running like Naruto. Then Z gets irritated and unleashes an even greater blast of power, and Usopp is scared with all the chaos in the fight. Everyone is on the train wanting to escape, but they're waiting for Luffy. Ain continues to battle with Zoro, and the plant girl keeps getting kicked by Sanji. But they decide to get out of there or risk becoming barbecue. But Luffy and Z keep going at it. Z shoots at Luffy, but he didn't count on Luffy's cunning, as bullets don't affect him, until Z grabs a .38 and shoots Luffy. Where's your .382, Luffy? That shot is made of Kairosaki. For sure, Z must have visited Rio de Janeiro, since he even grabbed Luffy's hat. Luffy reacts to the assault, and never do this, okay? As Z manages to create a close-range explosion at Luffy, and the island is on its last legs. So they decide to go rescue Luffy, who's lying all messed up on the ground. They run to save Luffy, while the destruction just keeps increasing. And when they were almost there, Usopp makes an improvised boat, and they manage to escape. But since the boat had no direction, they end up falling off it midway. Looks like there won't be a to be continued this time. Then everything freezes around them. Yes, crew members, Akiji did the right thing, so they manage to escape, while the island becomes history. And now there's only one island left for Z to achieve his goal. Will he succeed? Now Sengoku is going to tell about poor Z's past. Garp is with him to reminisce about that moment. Kobe asks Garp what Zephyr was like in the past. Garp says that back then he believed in justice. He was always on the front lines, very brave, and faced anyone who came in his way, even Whitebeard and the Pirate King. In no time, he rose in rank, and everything was going well, until pirates invaded his home and ended his family's life. But even so, he remained strong and determined. Even many of the powerful Marines today were trained by Zephyr directly or indirectly. But to show that Zephyr is quite unlucky, he was attacked on his ship while training new recruits, and everyone ended up as casualties, leaving only 2 of them. While trying to save everyone, he even broke his arm. But later, scientists managed to create a prosthesis for him, and when he was ready to wreak havoc again, the Marines hired the one who took care of the recruits, and gave him a position even higher than his just to mock him. He couldn't take it anymore and asked to leave, and thanks to that, he created the new anti-hero style Marine. They have doubts about why he chose the name Z. Well, if his name is Zephyr, I guess it's not too hard to figure out why, right? But there's another reason, and I'll tell you at the end of the video. Z is taking a nap to the sound of Manol Gomez. Actually, it's Akiji Gomez. And Z is fed up with the guys singing, and goes after him to make him shut up already. But Akiji does a solid and hands Z a drink. Z says he likes the song Akiji was singing, but prefers it in the voice of the original singer. And he makes it clear that he won't give up on his goal. And if Akiji wants to join the fight, just say so. But Akiji prefers to slip away quietly. Meanwhile, Luffy is feeling like a loser, having been beaten by Z twice. But Akiji approaches them to explain a bit about Z. Nami questions Akiji if the endpoints exist, but Akiji can only remember how hot Nami was when she was an adult, and that now that she's a kid, she looks like a twig. But then he composes himself and says yes, they exist, but only old Marines know that information since it's classified. But Luffy gets excited, saying it's time to get his hat back. They all team up to get ready for the 3rd round. Frankie has finished fixing the Sunny, but they still need to prepare for the fight. Luffy even thanks everyone for their camaraderie, but it's so rare that they all get startled. Akiji even hands them a compass. And of course, they ask why he helped so much. But Akiji just says he wanted to see some fighting to liven up his day. After they get ready and are about to leave, the smiling kid says he wants to be a hero like them. But Luffy replies, "But we're not heroes, kid. Just do what you want and that's it." And so they continue their journey. And make sure to subscribe because there's going to be an epic CGI fight, my friends. Arriving at the last island, they charge at everyone. Sanji rushes in for a brawl. Usopp even grabs a bionic hammer from Chapolin. Chopper is shooting bullets everywhere. And yes, Luffy uses swords here. Zoro has already lost track of everyone, which is no surprise. But he ends up alone with Ain. Even Ain knows she's going to get wrecked by Zoro. There's no way to match up against him. But at least she wants to buy some time. Mocha Mocha is once again facing off against Sanji, while Luffy is beating everyone up and then goes to eat some meat to recover. Z is there with Luffy's hat, waiting for him to arrive, just chilling with a drink. And Luffy keeps pounding everyone, dodging here, kicking and punching there. The guys are shooting at him, but he dodges everything. Ain is feeling sick with Zoro, and Mocha Mocha is getting a beatdown from Sanji. Each Straw Hat is in the battle, all doing their part and clearing the way for their captain to reach Z. Nami throws lightning and thunder like Pikachu, but accidentally hits her teammates too, and they fight with Nami over the shock they received. They were even going to help Luffy so he wouldn't fight alone, but the pacifistas show up to fight them. Meanwhile, Luffy gets closer to Z. Z says he's going to end the whole world, but Luffy just wants to get his hat back. Z says he won't return the hat, and that if he stole it, now it's his. He tells Luffy to come on for the fight, since he's going to use 100% of his power. The pacifistas almost had a handle on the Straw Hats, but Frankie showed up smashing them with his Shogun robot, then unleashing a huge blast of power. That sent all the pacifistas flying. Sanji continues his fight with Mocha Mocha, who tries to catch him with her plants. But Sanji is moving forward like it's nothing, and Zoro is almost managing to wipe out Ain. Almost, but he succeeded in defeating her. It's no use, my crewmates. Zoro wipes her out, and that's that, while Sanji finishes off Mocha Mocha for good. With that, the Straw Hats who had turned younger returned to normal. Brook also came back, but everyone looks silly since he hasn't changed at all. And Luffy continues to have an epic brawl with Z, trading blows back and forth. Z notices that Luffy has courage, but keeps going at him without stopping, and they keep hitting each other. The fight here is of such great quality that it's absurd you haven't left a like on this video yet. Z can't understand why Luffy is so determined to face him, but Luffy says it's just because he wants to beat Z up and get his hat back. Z then says, "Come on, let's fight already." And once again, they start pounding each other. Luffy takes some solid hits here, but Z also feels Luffy's blows. Z manages to throw Luffy against the wall and beats him up, but Luffy once again retaliates with a big kick and lets out a huge shout that he will be the Pirate King. Luffy hits him until he can't stand anymore, and Z falls to the ground, exhausted, declaring that he was defeated by Luffy, but that if it weren't for his back pain, he would keep fighting Luffy until the One Piece anime ends. Z says that since Luffy won, he can take his hat back, and also Z's life. But Luffy says that just the hat is enough, though if Z wants, he can let him rest for 5 minutes, so they can start pounding each other again. And Z says, "No way, that's enough. My back can't take it anymore." Z's companions come to him, but it's bad news because Kizaru has arrived on the battlefield, and is going to take advantage of the fact that everyone is tired, to trap all of them at once. But Z starts walking toward them, and Akiji creates an ice wall that divides them. Then Z decides that this will be his end. He will sacrifice himself so the others can escape. And since the Digimonts were frozen too, Z's plan is done, but at least he did something good in the end. He starts fighting all the Marines there, but Kizaru attacks him mercilessly. Some Marines present start to cry, as they remember the one who was once a great and honorable Marine, just like them. Meanwhile, Luffy and his friends are already leaving, so they head toward their next adventure, while Z continues to fight non-stop against the Navy. However, he ultimately meets his end at their hands, and his companions can only mourn his fate. Then we see a child playing, at being a hero, and that child was Zafir, who is now revealed to have wanted the name Z, in case he became a superhero. But the real hero is you for watching this video until now, and I'm very grateful for that. Thanks, and see you later.